Hey everyone, how's it going? Garry Patton here with my 2021 early in the bag video. Typically I'll do a couple of these a year to keep you guys in the loop of what I'm throwing, what molds are going in and out of my bag. And also I've received a big increase in YouTube subscribers lately, so I'd like to familiarize all of you new viewers with the discs I throw in my videos. All right, let's jump straight into it. I am using the Voyager Pro V2 bag here. It's lighter than the V1, and it also has a great magnetic rain fly that comes with it. These things will snap easily when you have it on. Does great, keeps your disc nice and dry. I also will use a all-terrain Zuka cart. I don't have it with me right now, so it's not here obviously, but I will switch back and forth between the cart and the bag throughout the season depending on the course. Let's jump straight into the bag. So I throw, for my putters, I putt with the Firm Electron Ions. I've putted with these since day one of being with MVP. I love them. They're minimal fade, pretty straight, just fantastic putting putters. I'll probably stick with these for years to come. All right, so then as far as my throwing putters go here, I bag a Super Beat Electron Soft anode. It's been in my bag for about 2 years. This thing's very warped. I'll probably show you guys a close-up here. And then I have a newer Electron Soft anode as well that I bag. So I like to keep 2 of these in rotation at all times. I'll probably switch out the new one about 3 times a year, and I'll keep the old one the same, if not change it 1 time a year. So these are just my pop-up to straight shots for putters. Now I'm only throwing those about 270 and in. Once you throw them a little harder than that, they become a little bit weird with the flights, just because the plastic / stability of the disc. All right, so now to my overstable throwing putters. I bag 2 Eclipse Envies here. These are fantastic. I have an old 2018 Halloween one here that's a little bit more beat in, and then I have my Tour Series one that's a little bit more overstable. So I can throw these full power. They'll pop up to flat depending on how hard I throw them, and still have a subtle fade at the end, or maybe even finish straight if I'm throwing them full power. But Envies go really far. I can throw these well over 300 feet and just great utility putter discs. Then for my most overstable putter, this is a new addition to the bag as of about 4 months ago, the Eclipse Stabilizer. This thing is so overstable. I can throw it on 4 standings, it'll flex out. Whenever I need to go left with minimal glide or throw a forehand with a putter that just hyzers out, this is my go-to for that. So I'm really loving this addition to my bag. All right, so now we've covered the putters, let's jump into the mid-ranges and talk about those a little bit. So starting with my overstable mid-ranges, I bag 2 Neutron Runways. This one here has been in my bag since 2018. It's the second MVP disc I technically tried. And then the new Cosmic Neutron Runway here is a fantastic disc as well. These are both very overstable. My old one will pop up and go straight a little bit, but still have fade. I love forehanding it. The plastic's a little bit more beat in and gummier than my Cosmic Neutron one here, but they're both fantastic workhorse overstable discs for me that I throw a ton. And I'm sure you'll familiarize yourself very quickly with these if you watch my videos. So I have 4 mid-ranges I'd consider straighter to slightly overstable. First of all, I have the Eclipse 2.0 reactor here. I'll throw this for max power. I could throw it on a 4 standing and it'll slightly flex out, but if I'm throwing a really hard mid-range shot, I'm probably gonna grab this. Really hard and flat, I should say. The glow on these 2.0s are also just insane if you haven't seen it yet. Go back and check out a video. I have one on my channel. These glow for so long and they're very bright. I bag a Neutron to complement that. It's a little bit straighter than the Eclipse, so that's kind of where they find their place. Now where I might have a slight bit of overlap is, I love the Matrix. The Proton Matrix here has been in my bag for about 1.5 years. It's understable at this point. Hyzer flips up to flat. Maybe a touch of fade at the end if I hyzered a bunch, but very, very easy point and shoot disc. I attack wooded courses with this. I'm comfortable throwing it into the high 300s too. I just really love this disc. Now, when it's a little bit too windy for my Proton, I like to go up to my Neutron matrix here. It just holds a line a little bit more without turning over as much, and it pretty much finishes about straight too, just like I said, without as much turn. So that's where these kind of have their place. So the Neutron reactor and the Neutron matrix kind of overlap in my bag, but I tend to throw the reactor a little bit further, and I feel like I can throw it a touch harder flat. So there's the differences between those. Now, as we move into my fairway drivers, for my straight fairways, I would consider my shock to be the straightest thing I have. Hyzer flip to turn over to finish about straight. I said straight there a lot because this disc is very, very straight, beat in. I do enjoy this disc. I have plenty of backups for it. It's out of production now. If you want something with a similar flight, you want to go pick up like a Proton Volt or a Neutron Volt. That'd be your closest thing. Or possibly even a Proton Tesla, I would say. But the Tesla is going to be a little bit faster though. So speaking of Tesla, I bag a Neutron Tesla here. This disc is beat in nicely. Hyzer flips up to flat with a slight finish, or if I throw it flat, it'll turn over and finish straight. So this is a very good workhorse disc for me. I throw this one a ton, and I actually just got a couple backups of this exact stamp and run, so I'm thrilled about that. All right, and now for my Overstable fairway drivers. This one here is just slightly more overstable than my other Tesla. If that Tesla was new, these would fly pretty comparable, but since that Tesla is really beat in and this one is not, this is a new Cosmic Neutron Reaper Tesla from this year. This is nice and overstable, but still has a fair amount of glide to it. I bagged 2 plasma fireballs as well. This one here being very beat, this one here being new. Similar to that Cosmic Neutron Tesla, but I'll just get a little bit different flight out of this. They'll hold straighter a little longer, at least this green one will, with a stronger fade, and these will tend to skip a little bit more too. Another thing too, the plasma grip on these have even been in my car in like 30 degrees or sub 30 degree temperatures. They're still nice and gummy and have a lot of give to them. So in the summer where I want something that's a little bit firmer, I can throw the Cosmic Neutron Tesla and still have those glidey kind of hyzers. Whereas in the winter, these actually feel nicer because they're just softer and easier to grip. All right, so those were all my fairway drivers. Let's go ahead and hop into I'd call this my workhorse straight distance driver. So I bagged 4 traces. My most overstable traces being the new Cosmic Neutron traces. These are fantastic, and these are just sick. These are good full power traces. They'll pop up, go slightly over, and finish with a little bit of hyzer. If I throw them max power though, they're not coming back. They're gonna pop up, go straight, and just pretty much finish straight. All right, and then for my understable traces, I have this beautiful plasma trace here, and then I have a normal older run Proton trace as well. This is my hyzer flip over to hold anhyzer trace, giant anhyzer shots, soft throwing woods pop-up shots. This is my go-to for that. And the plasma trace is the same thing essentially, just a touch more overstable. So when I say more overstable, I'm speaking relative to this trace. I'm not saying this is overstable at all. It just pops up and will finish a little bit harder than the Proton will. So after that, I have this Neutron Octane here. This has been in my bag for a couple years. This thing just absolutely bombs. I can throw it on a hyzer and let it pop up, go over, barely hold, and then flex out. Or I could throw it flat and nice and high with throw it at a high trajectory with a nose down angle, and I'll get a huge glide out of it, and it'll come back to about straight. All right, so after the Octane, I will go to my flippier Panics here. I bagged these 2 Panics. They look the exact same. One's a Skullboy, one's just a stock Neutron. These things both are my full power shot discs. If I need to pop something to flat and turn over, this is what I'm reaching for. If I need a little bit more stability, I'll go with that Octane because these are both beat in a little bit, but these are workhorse drivers. I love these discs. You'll see me throw these an absolute ton on my channel. All right, and then as far as my overstable paintings go, I have this blue one here. If I need to throw a 480 shot, or if it's a little windy, I'll hyzer flip it. And then this orange one is a touch more overstable, but similar concept. So if you realize throughout my bag, I have that concept to where one will be a little bit more overstable than the other. So I'm just slightly taking these microscopic steps to the next stability, so I feel like I have every gap filled in my bag. And last but not least, we have my Overstable Workhorse Neutron Nitro. This thing just gets it done. And I also kind of failed to mention that I will forehand the 3 of these a lot too, and I'll also forehand traces for pop-up shots. My Workhorse forehand disc would definitely be the flippier Neutron Panics here, but I can still do it with the Nitro or the more overstable Schoolboy Panic I have in my bag as well. I also flick the Fireballs a lot. I love how they fly, and I'll sometimes flick the Tesla as well. So as far as this goes though, this is my Workhorse Overstable disc. I am just comfortable throwing this. If I throw it full power, hyzer, I can pop it to flat. If I throw it flat, full power, it'll pop over to the right just a little bit and give me a nice strong finish at the end. Just a fantastic disc. Other notable things, I throw an untraditional roller. So I will actually throw my rollers with these, and I kind of come over the top more than I do flip it into it. If I need to throw a flip over roller, I'll throw my shock, or I might even bag a flippier trace for that. Just things throughout the season will kind of change a bit, but I'm most likely throwing my rollers with this. And then for my overhand shots, I almost primarily throw overhands with the Fireballs here. They seem to do what I want. I'm not typically throwing overhands over 300 feet, and these will cover all the distance I need for that. So really happy with that. So that's pretty much all the discs I throw and what I use them for. My bag changed. I'd say I have about 10 new discs in it from last year or so. That's a pretty significant change. Always have my Paragon towels in my bag. Shout out to Paragon, Miles Park Hill, great sponsor. I'll typically bag a couple birdie bags in sports sacks, one to wick my hands, the other one to add some stuff to it. I'm not a big fan of putting in the summer and getting dust all over my hands, so that's when the sports sacks work more. But sometimes when it's really rainy and you kind of can't get any grip, that would be the alternative for the birdie bag. Those things are great. I guess I even have my shoes here for you guys. I love the AX3s when it's not wet out. These are a really lightweight shoe, very consumer friendly too. I think they're 35 to like 60 bucks depending on the color. I always love my cheap little Ace ankle brace. They do wonders for my ankles. And then I have the Terex Swift R2 GTXs for my Gore-Tex shoe. These keep my feet dry all year. I honestly have had this pair for over a year, but since I switched the AX3s out, these ones are still in phenomenal shape, and I'll be able to use them for a entire another season. Whereas I would normally go through like 2 pairs of these this season because I'm only using these, or I can use the other ones when it's not as wet. So this has been my 2021 in the bag. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. I can't wait to get the 2021 season kicked off. Thanks to my sponsors, as always, MVP, Plastic Addicts, and Paragon. And I'll see you guys in the next one.